Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Edward III, and today we get to hear from Prince Edward in Act 3, Scene 5, which, oh my goodness, yesterday we finished Act 3, Scene 3, so we've got a little bit of catching up to do. So France and England are at war, and the war has made it to the land because the English Navy pretty much destroyed the French Navy, and as the English armies have been moving across France, they've basically just been leaving a path of destruction in their way. So in Act 3, Scene 3, we had King John and King Edward come face to face and do a little bit of sniping at each other until John gave a rousing speech to encourage the Frenchmen to be ready for battle. And Edward, King Edward, as part of the preparation for battle on his side, he had his son presented with armor and a lance and a sword and a helmet and go through this sort of initiation to have him become knighted, but he still kind of has to prove himself on the battlefield before his knighthood is like official. So after all of that is said and done, and Prince Edward does the appropriate, thank you, I'm so flattered by this and so honored by this, and I'm going to try to live up to, what all of this represents, they go off to fight a war. And that was the end of Act 3, Scene 3. Act 3, Scene 4, we're on the battlefield, and it's just a really quick exchange between the Duke of Lorraine and King John of France, where King John is like, where are all of our people going? Why is everybody running away? And the Duke of Lorraine is like, well, it was the guys from... it's the Genovese guys who came and they were supposed to be helping us, but they saw so much chaos on the battlefield and they were already tired that they started running away too. So everybody's just retreating at this point, and there's not a lot that we can do about it. And King John is like, let's go see if we can try to convince some of these guys to stay and fight. And that's the end of Act 3, Scene 4. Seriously, the whole scene is about 15 lines long. Act 3, Scene 5, we're on the battlefield again, but we're on the English side of it, and we're checking in with King Edward again. And he's like, things seem to be going pretty well. How about we just, take a little rest on this hill over here? But then I believe it's Artois comes in first and is like, your son is surrounded and you need to go help him. And Edward's like, nah, he'll do fine. And then Derby comes in and he's like, your son is surrounded and they're closing in. He's going to die like any second now. You got to go send help. And Edward's like, no, he's trying to prove himself to be a knight. We're not going to go help him. And then Lord Audley comes in and is like, he's seriously going to die any second. Who can we send? We need to send somebody to save Prince Edward. And King Edward is like, no. If we send somebody to save him, he will always expect somebody to come and save his butt. If he has to get out of this by himself, when he comes out of it, he will be a knight and he will know how to handle things on his own. So no, if anybody goes to help him, they're going to die. And so all three of those guys are like, because they can't send anybody to help. But fortunately, because things are going in the general direction of being favorable to the English, Prince Edward comes in, like a retreat sounds, and Prince Edward comes in along with the body of the King of Bohemia. And they're all like, oh, thank goodness he's okay. And Prince Edward comes down and he kneels in front of his father and kisses the ring and all that stuff. And when he stands up, he says, first, having done my duty as beseemed, lords, I greet you all with hearty thanks. And now behold, after my winter's toil, my painful voyage on the boisterous sea of war's devouring gulfs and steely rocks, I bring my fraught unto the wished port, my summer's hope, my travel's sweet reward. And here with humble duty I present this sacrifice, this first fruit of my sword, cropped and cut down even at the gate of death. The King of Boheme, Father, whom I slew, whom you said had entrenched me round about, and lay as thick upon my battered crest as on an anvil with their ponderous glaives, yet marble courage still did underprop, and when my weary arms with often blows, like the continual labouring woodman's axe that is enjoined to fell a load of oaks, began to falter, straight I would recover my gifts you gave me, and my zealous vow, and then new courage made me fresh again, that in despite I craved my passage forth, and put the multitude to speedy flight. Lo, this hath Edward's hand filled your request, and done, I hope, the duty of a knight. So he's being somewhat dramatic in telling the story of how he killed the King of Bohemia. He's like, you know, I've gone out and I've proven myself to be a knight, and here I am, the first person that I killed, or at least the first person of import that I killed, the King of Bohemia, who you all thought had me totally surrounded to the point where, you know, I was going to collapse. But every time I started getting tired, I just thought of everything that you just gave me in this armor and in the words that you imparted to me in tasking me with this. And it gave me new strength, and I was able to fight my way out of this. And now I bring you the spoils of my battle, and I hope that I have proven myself to be a worthy knight. And King Edward's like, yep, you did. So now you're a knight. And they're like, hooray, that's great. And Prince Edward also then imparts to the rest of the Englishmen who are there that in this battle, the French lost like 30,000 soldiers and 14 major princes and a whole bunch of important people, blah, blah, blah. And the English side lost about 10,000 people. So the English side is very much winning at this point, and the French side is very much not at this point. But since we're hanging out with the English side in this particular scene, they're all very happy about it. They're feeling good about things. And the king is like, okay, so where did King John go? And they're like, well, we saw him retreating off this way. And King Edward is like, okay, you and you go follow him. I'm going to go to Calais and make sure that that is secure. So, all right, everybody know the plan. We're splitting up in two. You're going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. All right, break. And that's where Act 3, Scene 5 ends, which is also where Act 3 ends. So tomorrow we're going to dig into Act 4. And yeah, we still got to find out what's going to go on with this. Like, can the French make a comeback? I don't know. Tune in tomorrow for more. We'll see. Mwah.